It's time to sip the coffee and spill the tea on Talking with 3D Live. Here's your host, Derrick Dixon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Talking with 3D Live. I'm your host, Derrick Dixon, and this is where we sip the coffee and spill the tea. Listen, before we get started, do me a big favor. Make sure that everybody is tuned in to Talking with 3D Live. Click it, love it, share it, do all those things to make sure that you are subscribed. Tell everyone to be tuning in right now, because we're on every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you've missed a show, you can go back, check out another show, but make sure that you always come back to this one as well. So again, click it, love it, share it, do all those things to watch Talking with 3D Live. And this is an iRose Film production. So today, I get to sit down with none other than Justin Foster. Justin Foster, he's an entrepreneur, he's a minister. He's dedicated to helping people break down from popular misbeliefs about God. Almost 2 decades of his life, he also experienced intense anger, self-hatred, broken identity, depression, self-harm, and now he is on a journey to bringing others into the liberating revelation of God as our Abba Father. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Justin Foster. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing blessed. How are you?
I'm well. I am doing good. I want to tell everybody I was at the cleaners.
Yeah.
I was at the cleaners and I saw that you had a shirt on, a t-shirt, and to find out that that's from your graphic design, one of your graphic designs from your it's called Sonworthy. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that. Sonworthy. And I asked you, what did the shirt mean?
Yeah.
And then you told me what the definition of what it meant and everything. And I said, I would love to talk to you more about it. Why don't you come on my talk show? And you hit me up, and here we are today.
Absolutely.
Here we are today.
Yeah, it's so good to be here.
Yes, I'm so glad that you accepted the offer. Listen, I want to just jump right into it, if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah.
I read your story, and I love to, we always see people and we never know what people have been through.
Mm-hmm.
Their shell is nothing like what's going on in the inside or what's gone on in the inside. And until we know all of the ingredients that put you together, we'll never know. That's how I always feel like when I get to know people and get to meet people. I mean, do you feel the same in that aspect?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met people that it's just, they'll seem one way on the outside, like they'll seem really, really, even sometimes like tough, but then you actually get to know them and like, this person is acting really cool, really chill, really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was always the person that I wanted to get to know people. And I think maybe that's how I got into, talk show and acting and things like that, writing books. Because I would remember people would tell me, don't hang out with this person. This person is this and this person is that. I would want to know more about that person. Why does everyone not like you?
Yeah. Yes.
And it started with my years of being a flight attendant. We used to have this thing called a no-fly list. And on that no-fly list, it was people that we were told, don't fly with this person. They're a horrible flight attendant. Well, you know what I would do? I would get on a flight with them because I would want to know, why does everybody not like you?
Yeah.
I would even go to the person, you're on the no-fly list, right?
Oh my God.
What is that? But my thing is, I would give them an opportunity to at least know. So whatever they needed to fix, they could fix. So I always had that mentality.
Yeah.
So I want to go back. Liberating revelation of God as Abba Father. What does that mean?
Well, it's a lot. I grew up in a Christian home, raised by a single mom, and The church we grew up in was a bit legalistic. You know, a lot about rules. Don't do this, do this. You know, you better not do this, you're going to hell. You're dressed too short, you're going to hell. You watch the wrong show, you're going to hell.
That's right. Listen to the wrong music.
You're going to hell.
You're going to hell.
Everything you was going to hell.
Yeah.
And so my picture, and growing up without my dad, so I'm painting a picture of God as this really austere, scary, ready to throw a thunderbolt at you. You know, that's just the perception I built, you know. And so that shaped and formed me in my early years, you know, because what else? How am I supposed to know what it means for God to be Father? I didn't have my father, so I'm just like, okay, fathers must be cruel, mean, they abandon you, they don't show up, they don't really care about you.
That's good.
And they're just a lot about rules. So this was my idea of God, you know, for most of my life. And I remember even after I became a Christian, you know, at the age of 17, I still had that perspective in my mind of, you know, God is really scary. And then one time I was in the dining room, and I was just going through a really heavy depression. I wanted to self-harm. I just wanted to, I wanted to kind of, you know, just be gone, you know, and I remember, like, I just felt so guilty because of the things I was struggling with, and different sins, different habits, different things like that. And I'm like, well, Lord, just take me, because I would rather be with you than to stay here to know I'm doing things that, you know, are against you. And I remember so clearly, I just heard God say, son, I have never loved you based on what you've done for me. And those words shifted something on the inside of me. And, you know, everything didn't change overnight, but it began a journey of relearning God, this God I had grown up hearing about from a distance, but it was like he wanted to be closer. And I'm like, wow, the person I feel like I'm the most unworthy to approach is saying, hey, I'm right here. I want you to come. Like, I can help you. I can pick you back up. And that started to change something for me, that God wanted to be more than just this judge I heard about, or this lawyer, or this Lord, or this master. He's all those things. He's king, but he wants to be father. And so it was kind of an invitation for me to learn what it meant to be a son and what it meant for him to really be father. So I would say that's where that kind of began, you know.
And something that you said too, that, you know, that because as kids, we hear the stories in church.
Yeah.
God's going to crack the sky. So you're, as a child, thinking, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to crack the sky, and it's going to be a thundering, you know, roar, and the trumpets. And you're like, what is going to happen to me? Because we're kids.
Yeah.
And without knowing the, you know, the revelation behind all of that, it could be scary.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you said that, because it's like, yeah, I remember them stories, and I was like going, Lord, what is about to happen?
Oh my gosh, can I share something about it? So after I became a Christian, I remember I would like binge read the Bible. And for some strange reason, I decided to turn to the book of Revelation, which is like right what you're talking about. All the judgments, the plagues, the thunderbolts, these locusts, these dragons coming out. I'm like 5-headed dragons, all these monsters coming out. I'm like, what in the... So I just binge read the book of Revelation. Then I threw the Bible down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll never open the Bible again. I'm going to hell. Oh my gosh. Then my mom get raptured. She's coming home. I think she's got raptured. I think I'm left behind. It was just, I was terrified.
Oh my gosh. I thought I was the only person that thought like that, because the movies that come out there, I remember there was a movie in you know, all the passengers are on the plane, and all of a sudden they just started disappearing.
Left behind.
Left behind.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so then again, you're watching this, and they make it, you know, that the Bible becomes scary.
Yeah.
And because if you sinned, if you lied, if you stole something, if you just turned the corner on the red light, you know, you are now doomed.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that we're having this conversation, because it makes it real now.
Yeah.
I'm not the only person that thinks that. There are other people that kids especially, or adults, that think that.
Yeah.
So I want to go back real quick though, and we'll move up to today. So 2 decades of your life going through intense anger, self-hatred, broken identity, you know, where were you in that time? If you don't mind sharing it, where were you at that time? Where was your mindset and what took you there?
Yeah. So this I would say my most intense years were elementary to early high school, because things started to change my last year of high school, but elementary to early high school, I was that weird kid. You know, first of all, I grew up, obviously black community, I mean, I'm black, but I used to get called white boy for obvious
Okay.
reasons. I'm the light-skinned kid. And I got teased, I got bullied in school. I was that outcast kid. And
By other black children.
Yep.
Okay.
By the black children.
Right.
Because I went to predominantly black schools, city schools, then eventually county school, public schools. And I was just a kid everybody didn't like. I was to myself. I was a really inquisitive, intellectual type of kid. I just like thinking and being to myself, and so I got picked on a lot. And that just reinforced the idea, and because I can realize it now looking back in retrospect, like, because my father wasn't there, I thought subconsciously, okay, I'm not worthy. I must be unlovable, if he wasn't there to love me, So I'm thinking all of these things. Then people are bullying me. I'm like, okay, the world hates me. Nobody likes me. I don't have a place in the world. So, I'm into like Eminem, Tupac, F the world, like all that stuff. I'm like really like in my rebellious phase, like just screw everybody. And that's probably why I got into hip hop, because Eminem, he's my vibe. Like
Okay.
everybody, just
yeah.
And I was really, really just going through a lot of anger. Like, I wouldn't mess with people, but people would mess with me. And then it would just be that one moment where I picked up a chair or I just snapped, cursed the teacher out. And I just felt like the world was against me. Everyone is against me. Teachers are blaming me for students who are bullying me, and they're not listening to my side of the story. I'm like, I'm just getting angrier and angrier, and this school system is broken, and what is wrong with this world? So I'm like inside, I'm just wanting to like just F everything, like just screw everybody. Like I'm done. I'm so over this corrupt, broken world. And so it just, and I struggled a lot with my social, so that was like my social identity, feeling like an outcast, my sexual identity, feeling like, I'm not feeling worthy as a male, not feeling worthy as a man.
So it challenged your masculinity.
Yeah, it challenged my masculinity.
Yeah.
And everything. So I'm experimenting sexually. I'm all over the place. I'm smoking weed. I'm just doing everything. And I was just really, really frustrated. And I felt like I don't belong in this world, And so that would become a pivotal point in a positive way, like later after I, started following Christ. But at the time, it was just like, why am I even here? Like, this world sucks. Like, everybody hates me and I hate everybody else.
So, but Justin, this all stems from your father not being in your life. I mean, did you put that together? Did it ever register as thinking, I'm having these feelings because my father is in my, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is that where you think that's where a lot of this anger comes from, because your father wasn't present?
Yeah.
Was that a big part?
Now I realize that.
Now you realize
it. But at the time, it was everybody else's fault.
It was everyone else's fault. But you were able to pinpoint where this anger, depression, and everything was coming from. Are you an only child?
No. I'm the fourth out of 5.
Okay. Okay. And where's the relationship with your father now?
Well, my father's deceased.
Okay.
But there were certain times in my teenage years when he attempted to reconnect, that was a little awkward because my mom had, she had her feelings towards him, obviously.
Of course.
But, he reconnected with us a few times. We went to hang out with him. And they weren't super bad, but they also were kind of awkward because I remember this one particular time, he wanted to work on some music together because I started learning piano at that time. And he was a songwriter. And so that's why I get a lot of my musicality from him. And he wanted me to help him work on this song. And I'm still learning, but I just couldn't figure out the chord progressions to this particular song he wanted. And so that upset him. And he thought I was being like rebellious, like I just didn't want to do it. And so then he beat me. And so that just kind of closed off my walls all over again, because I'm like, you don't even know me, like, and then you're blaming me. So I'm just like, I just kind of closed down again. And so some time went by, there was really no reconnection. And then I would say years later, this was at least maybe between 5 to 7 years later, I would say I was in my 20s at the time. And I had gone through a lot of healing. I had gone through a lot of processing emotionally with the Lord, spiritually. And I actually felt the Lord nudging me to forgive him, to reconnect with him, even though I didn't think he deserved to be forgiven. I'm like, well, I'm not forgiving him. Like, he needs to, But I felt convicted, and it was funny because my sister on my father's side, so I have other siblings besides us 5 on my father's side that I didn't really grow up knowing, but one of them happened to be singing at a conference at my church. And I seen her, and I immediately took that as a sign. I need to reach out to my dad.
Yeah.
And so I resisted it for a few months, but then I was like, you know what? I need to let him know that I forgive him. And it wasn't even for me. And this is something. Just stop me if I get too preachy.
No, go ahead.
This is something that. It's popular in Christianity. This is one of those misbeliefs. Like, forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. But it's for both.
Yeah.
The most powerful, the word forgiveness in the Greek literally means to release, to let someone free. And when I think about forgiveness, I think of God forgiving us. He forgave us to let us go free from the prison of our sin, from the prison of our darkness. He didn't really do it for him because he needs nothing, but he did it for us.
Yeah.
And so my heart had come to such a place where I'm like, you know what? He needs this. He needs to know, because I don't want him to live the rest of his days.
You needed to let free him from all his guilt.
Yes.
All his blame.
Yes.
So, okay, I get it.
Come
okay.
on.
Yeah.
He's locked in the prison of guilt, shame, condemnation, fear, feeling like he's failed as a father.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me let him free, because I'm free now.
Because you was holding him in bondage. You was holding him in a box.
Yes.
So whatever your anger was, you was dealing with yours. He was dealing with all of his stuff.
Yes.
But your forgiveness of him at least freed him of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had to release him, and so I just called him up. And I was like, Dad, I want you to know. I said, hey, Dad, this is your son, Justin. How's everything going? I was like, I just want you to know that I forgive you. And I love you, and I'm praying for you. And he was so grateful, and things like that. And shortly after that, he had gotten sick, his health complications. And shortly after that, he passed away. But I had peace that I thank God that I was able to make peace, because some people are not able to do that.
Yeah.
So.
And then it's sad once they do pass on and you don't get to have that. So now you're holding on to that anger that I didn't get to have my final say so.
Yeah.
I there's something that I still have to hold on to because I didn't get to say it.
Yeah.
I didn't get to do it. So let's fast forward to today. So you've been through so much especially elementary into your high school years. To me, that's your pivotal years.
Yeah.
So, and I want people to understand too, there's a big difference between when we say, we've experienced Christ, because there's a big difference between religion and church.
Come on. Uh-oh.
Okay. We done tapped into something new. And a lot of people don't understand that. But that's why a lot of times a lot of people don't want to go to church.
Yes.
Because of the religion aspect of it. I'm going to get beat up for my sins. I'm going to be whatever I'm going to church wearing. I know people that come in there smelling like smoke.
Yeah.
And then it takes one person to say, you're not supposed to be smoking. That's a sin. But Mary will go home and close her front door and pull out her Marlboros and pour her a shot of cognac and have a good day.
Oh, my Lord.
So we lose a lot of people. We lose a lot of people, and the church loses a lot of trust. Have you experienced that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, oh my gosh, like I had, So my early walk in following Christ was filled with a lot of what is going on in the church? Because
What's going on in the church?
like I said, I would binge read the Bible. So I'm reading the Bible, and I'm more of a person like, let's get it done, like Home Depot, we're doing get more done. I'm a doer. Like I'm reading this. Jesus is saying, go do it.
Yeah.
Let's go do it. Like, forgive your neighbor. Okay. I see this guy at the mall I used to have beef with. He had a gang, you know, blah, blah. I walk up to him, apologize. Like, I'm a doer of the word, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm reading the Bible, but then I'm in church, and I'm like, y'all just preach everything I'm reading, but nobody's doing it. Y'all talk about feeding the poor, healing the sick.
And go out to eat after church and pass by the person in the... Come on.
What is going on? And, you know?
Yeah.
So like I've been disillusioned with churchianity, you know, for a while, because I'm like, okay, when I see Jesus, I fell in love with Jesus. I didn't fall in love with
the church,
Christianity per se, or the church. I fell in love with Jesus because when I read of him in scripture, I'm like, he's amazing. Like he's beautiful. He upset the religious and the non-religious. So like he's in a whole different category of his own. And so I'm like, I'm gravitated to him. But I think the church has done, like you said, a great disservice, because it's like, if we're supposed to be a hospital for the sick, why are we telling people, hey, you can't come in here coughing? Hey, you can't come in here with your arm bleeding. And that's exactly what they're here for, to get their wounds treated.
Right.
You know?
To get their wounds treated.
Come on.
Wow. Justin, I'm telling you. Listen, I don't want to lose us to run out of time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you have a graphic design business, Sonworthy, to help create unforgettable visual identities for business and ministries who want to do good in the earth. And I love how you say in the earth, you know, because a lot of times we want to do good for self-pleasure. But what are we supposed to be doing?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So talk about Sonworthy, what that means. How did you come up with that?
So the name Sonworthy itself is a play on words, because, you know, I grew up believing, oh, we're just all filthy, wretched sinners, and I should just be glad that God would die for a wretch like me. You know, we're just so unworthy. But then when I started to understand the gospel, that the pearl of great price was not something primarily that we're supposed to sell to come to God, that comes second. But first, it's what he did to buy us back. He thought the price of anything is the value of anything is the price that you pay for it. Like, you know, you pay some good money for your outfit. I'm like, you got the drip on, you know what I'm saying? But like, you considered it worth the price you paid for it. And so if God was willing to pay his own blood for me and for you, for us, that says that we weren't unworthy. We were worth his death. We were worth his blood. He considered us that valuable to him that he refused to let us perish. And so it was to change that idea that no, we're not unworthy. We're sonworthy. And the word son is not exclusive to males. This is the beauty of the gospel. It's like, it says to all who believed him, to receive him, he gave the power to become the sons of God. Because if you know ancient Hebrew culture, the greatest blessing went to the son. But now males and females, Jews and Gentiles, black, everybody has been called into the inheritance of the son, and we've been made sons, and we've been put on equal playing fields. And so that's where that comes from, the sonworthy aspect of that.
I love it. I love it. So if someone wants to get in contact you about Sonworthy and get apparel, have you design something for them, how do they contact you?
So they can reach me, the easiest way would be my website, sonworthy.com, or they can find me on social media, Sonworthy Design or Sonworthy Apparel.
Sonworthy Design or Sonworthy Apparel. So please make sure that you reach out to Justin. Sonworthy Design or Sonworthy Apparel, and it's S-O-N, worthy. So make sure that you're not putting S-U-N, S-O-N, worthy. What is the message that, especially to our young kids that have been through depression, going through anger? Because now what we do is we label our kids. They got ADHD, they have behavioral problems. We don't go deep in to find out what's wrong, the root of the problem with our children. What's the message that you want to get out to our kids?
Wow. I would have to say, like, you are so valuable to God. You were created in the image of God, and that he has a purpose for your life. And Jesus died and rose again so that he could give you a whole entirely new life. He wants to be your father. He wants to change everything about you. He wants to transform you from the inside out. And you are loved. But here, that's the key thing. You are loved before you do anything. We got to get them free from the performance culture, because our parents love us when we get this on our report card, that on our report card. God loved you before you could do anything for him. And he wants to come and to connect with you and to teach you so you can live from a place of acceptance before performance. So I would say that's probably
acceptance before performance.
Yeah.
That's a message right there. Acceptance before performance. And I think that our kids now, I'm almost started tearing up because I just think it's so important. I just think it's so important nowadays for our kids, because a lot of times our kids felt so, like you said, left behind and didn't have, what they felt like they needed at that moment, and we have to do better by our kids. There's times I say things to my kids and I'll go back and say, why did I say that? Why did I say that? But in the moment, in the passion of it all, that's what came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But that's what I meant. But I need to learn how to tweak that.
Yeah.
And let them know that they are valuable. They are loved. And, I don't care about what, I'm glad that you ran the touchdown, but I also want you to know that you're loved, because that's more important to me than the touchdown. They equally, I want you to feel like, yes, I'm very proud of you. Always going to be very proud of you. But I think our children are lacking that.
Yeah.
Very big, important deal. Sonworthy, Instagram, and they get or Sonworthy Design or Sonworthy Apparel. So I wrote this book, and I want to gift it to you today.
Wow.
And Healing from Being Unchosen. And I wrote this book with my middle son in mind. I adopted all three of my children.
Wow.
I wrote this book with my middle son in mind because he's sitting over there producing this show right now, and he may not even heard me say this, but being adopted, I never realized that in his mind, he thought he was unchosen. He didn't look at the fact that he was chosen. There was a reason, there was a purpose, and why God connected us and why God put us together. So because of this moment, today. So I thought of him thinking, whatever, all the stuff that I've been through, there was a moment that we all have to heal. As you were saying, I had to release my father. I had to learn how to release some stuff. And that's my prayer for him, is to learn how to release some stuff so he can move forward.
Wow.
And until he releases that, it's going to be hard for him to move forward. So that's always my prayer for him, to release it. So I want to gift this to you, Healing from Being Unchosen.
Wow, this is awesome.
And that's for you.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I did not know where this conversation was going to go.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed sitting down and speaking to you. I just see you in the masses sitting down and having these conversations.
Wow.
Because I think that people need to hear your story and be healed from what they need to be released from. So I appreciate you, Justin, for stopping by.
Thank you
and
so
hope to see you again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for tuning in to Talking with 3D Live. Go out, make sure that you love somebody intentionally. Learn how to forgive and learn how to release. Go out, love someone. Peace.